The Marshall Fire is actually comprised of two fires. The first started on a residential property at 5325 Eldorado Springs Drive, shortly after 11 a.m. At that location, 6 days before the Marshall Fire, on December 24th, a fire was conducted by the residents on that property.
Thus, no criminal charges can be proven against Excel Energy.
Given that there was the large water source on the property and the plan to cover the coals with dirt, the fire department believed the fire was being conducted responsibly. The remnants of the fire were covered with dirt at about 5 p.m. by the residents, and there was no indication between December 24th and December 30th of any additional fire after the coals and ashes had been buried. On December 30th, the high wind event uncovered the previously buried fire, and the embers were exposed to oxygen and blown into the nearby dry vegetation. The vegetation caught fire and began to quickly spread through the property. Firefighters then reported that the fire began to make a run to the east towards the Marshall community. And despite their efforts to reposition and try to stop the fire, the winds overwhelmed them. Approximately 1 hour later, a second fire started just south of the Marshall Mesa trailhead. Further investigation determined that the most likely cause of the second fire was hot particles discharged from an Xcel Energy power line. A close examination of the power lines in the area revealed that one of the power lines had become unmoored from a crossarm and was hanging low enough to come into contact with a support brace. The second photograph is a close-up of one of the power lines involved, and you can see visibly that there is material missing from the line. Our expert stated in his findings that it is more likely than not that discharge particles from the power lines started the second fire. With every home that burned that day, people lost everything. All their possessions, family heirlooms, were turned to ash. I share in that loss as I lost my home to the Marshall Fire.
Additionally, the District Attorney's Office looked to see if it would be possible or justified to charge any criminal offenses in connection with the cause and origin of the Marshall Fire. The decision of the District Attorney's Office, which is that there's insufficient or no evidence of a crime having been committed, is consistent with the findings by the Sheriff's Office, investigators, U.S. Forest Service, and also the experts who worked on this case. If we were to tell you today that we were filing charges, it would be wrong and unethical. We can only file charges when there's evidence of a crime having been committed.